Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm. We're back from a little bit of a hiatus. I'm in a completely new location, although I can't imagine it'll look that much different than the last one that you saw a couple weeks ago. And we're winding up for some 6.4 stuff. However, we still have another week to wait until the letter from the producer live, and then we'll have all the usual shows. So for now, we're going to do something a little bit fun. We're going to take your confessions, experiences from the Duty Finder and the Party Finder. We're going to read, laugh, and apparently have margaritas to them, according to Sly. So for that, you're going to need some hosts. I'm one of them, Mr. Happy, and of course, joining me is the Margarita Man himself, Sly. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Today's gonna be interesting.
Are you sure? What if the stories suck?
I mean, you're bound to get a few duds here and there, and that's fine. That's fine. But like law of averages, we got 44. Right
44.
Yeah, 44.
Yeah.
Yeah. Law of averages. Like we're I believe we got a lot of good ones.
Okay. Well, I'll trust you on that. I still kind of want to figure out exactly. Oh, you know what? Actually, yeah, this is. Oh no, it's a little bit much. I was trying to figure out exactly the size I wanted everything to be because we're gonna pull them up on the screen. Although I do want to make sure that none of them have actual character names because I know some people were like, "Please don't use character names," and I'm like, I'm willing to bet that they use character names.
No. See, I ensured that we the submissions were anonymous. So, like.
Oh, yeah, but in the stories themselves, I mean, you know, sometimes people, they get a little crazy. Yo, Discord, stop doing that. I had the page up, I had the other page up full screen, and it just kept making our Discord, like, flash gray. I'm like, stop it right now. Discord doesn't like it. It's like, Discord's like, I'm full screen. Nobody else can be full screen. That's just how it has to be. Well, before we have a fun little time this episode, just to get ahead of what's bound to be an incredibly busy news and discussion season between 6.4, live letters, preliminary patch notes, job changes, raid, eventually Criterion, expansion news, Final Fantasy 16, and us saying we're not doing a show for several weeks because why would we do that when 16 comes out? I'm glad that we have this fun show, and we have some sponsors as per usual. Now, SteelSeries is sponsoring as per usual. However, they're actually doing a specific push for their software, Sonar and Moments. It's technically called SteelSeries GG, but those are two features that don't require SteelSeries hardware to use. And Sonar allows you to adjust the audio on the back end. You can do it for your microphone. You can do it for your headset. Again, regardless of the actual status of your hardware, like what you're actually using. And then Moments just allows you to clip things, kind of like Shadow Play, but it can also auto-clip certain moments for certain games. It'll just detect that something has happened and just go with that. So thank you to them for sponsoring. If you want to try it out, ! Moments in the chat or the panel below the stream. And then, of course, shout out to our sponsors over on Patreon for supporting. They don't have to. They choose to. We love them for it. State of the Realm's always for free. So no pressure, but thank you to all of them as well. Okay, Sly. How do we lead into this? Do we start with our own? Do you have one? I know I have one. I don't even. But everyone knows.
I know you have one. I didn't really think of one. I don't know if I have one.
With all those Waffle House raids, you seriously don't have one? You made it seem like every night was a confession.
No, it was just raiding at late night, thinking that anything serious was going to get done, and nothing did, except for the last poll. Okay, let's get serious.
The last poll. No.
Yeah.
No. I'm shocked. Like I feel like I've done less Party Finder than you at sometimes because I generally avoid it, and I still have like.
Now, is yours more of a confession, or is it more shit that happened to you? Is it something you did or something that happened to you?
Well, I mean, there's a mix of them because like I've had moments where I totally make a mistake and just kind of play it off. I'm just like, hope nobody noticed that. And then there's things that just happen in the vicinity.
That shit happens all the time. That's not even a confession for me. That shit happens all the fucking time.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone makes mistakes, but it's like, I don't know. I've got plenty of shareable experiences, I feel like, between casters who don't do stuff. It's just things that happen in the vicinity, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So, Sly, with that, why don't you say, what do you consider a confession?
All right. So, what I consider a confession, basically exactly what you said. Like you fucking up and, nothing really happened as a result of it, or something did, and they still don't know who to place the blame on. Something like that. Healer god complexes, healing, like withdrawing heals, because of your god complex, and getting away with it. Tanking without mitt or a stance.
I just dealt with that. Oh my god. Sly, I put out a video where people
I saw that video.
Yeah,
I saw that video.
I asked people to give me reference or instances or duties that go horribly in the duty finder, and among them was Dunscaith, which normally goes bad because of the mechanics. Run. Yeah, but what happened is all 3 tanks had no interest in tanking and also died to all the same mechanics. So the DPS would regularly just be tanking for like a minute at a time.
Right.
And it was not the disaster I had foresaw. And then there was like a double Vuln stack 0 defensive cooldown tank buster that just deleted one of, like, there was just that non-hacking stop.
That was a fun video to see.
I'm doing way more. Sly, you're not gonna like one of the video ideas I have for that before we get to the confessions.
What?
I'm gonna do one. This was a suggestion where I do the same instance, but I do it on all 4 North American data centers. And see which one of them does the best or worst. And
I think the answer, like, this is one of those, which data center is the worst? The answer might shock you. Yeah, I think it's gonna actually shock you.
Oh no, I don't think it will. Unfortunately, I think I know exactly who's gonna win that one.
Oh, really?
Depending on how you win. Anecdotally, I know what to expect.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, we're basing this off of preconceived notions.
No, not preconceived notions. Anecdotal experiences, firsthand experiences. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and let's just say that the duty finder, it can be a little primal. That's anecdotal.
You know damn well we're not the worst, and fuck y'all. I'm sorry if you do things a little bit different. That's fine.
No, that's not it.
Hey, wait. I'm sorry if you get a random, primal party that isn't that good. I mean, the shit's bound to happen. Who's to say you won't get that on Crystal or, Dynamis?
Well, Dynamis I can't speak for, but anecdotally, I have never had these experiences on the other 2. So anecdotally, I know what to expect.
Here we go.
I'm saying anecdotally. I'm not saying absolutely.
Okay, I cannot wait to see this video then. I really can't wait to see this video then.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
With that,
it will.
We should probably get into some of the confessions. There are quite a few, and I have a feeling we're going to have some that are more tame, some that are a little bit more raw.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah.
And I've already looked through. I've just kind of skimmed over without reading them to look for keywords.
I did the same.
Yeah, and I've seen the word mentor a lot.
You did mention in your prompts again. Share with us your worst nightmares you've experienced in the dreamlands of the duty or party finder. Mentor stories pay double, which is still nothing, by the way.
I did. Oh, I did. You know what? You're right. I did type that verbatim.
I gave Logix again. Huge shout out to Logix for actually making this site.
Yeah.
And And I gave Logix your prompt. And he was like, okay, yeah, there we go.
All right. Well, let's do some predictions. Actually, let's since this is a more community-driven episode, we want to get the chat involved a little bit. I am going to start a prediction, and the prediction is going to be how many of these stories are mentor stories.
Oh, what are you putting the over/under at? What are you putting the over/under?
Let's see. There's 44 total. I don't know that we'll get to absolutely all. How many of these stories are mentor stories? You know, let's go a little tame. Okay, let's do 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 11. I don't know how many we'll get to. 11 to 15 or 15 plus. Let's stop at 15.
Yeah,
plus.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And you know what? Even though we're gonna read the first one, I can already tell you guys there's at least a couple. I've only read 2 or 3, and I've seen the word mentor twice.
Are you starting from the top or are you going bottom?
Which way do you want to go? Because I've skimmed through the top ones. I haven't skimmed through the bottom ones, so we can start from the bottom, so it's a little bit more of a surprise.
Yeah, bottom, but skip the first one because I don't know.
Skip the first. Oh yeah, I can see what you mean. Okay, yeah. Let me get that.
So, would you like to start, or would you want me to start?
Sly, you know what? While this was kind of my idea, you made it happen with logic. So I'm gonna pull up the first one, and I want you to do it. This first one's a double. I can already see that in the first words.
Yeah. I have 2 confessions. One was an Amarat run. I was a healer with a Dark Knight who didn't mit unless we were on a boss. Oh. We wiped once on the last boss, and said Dark Knight said, and I quote, "I feel like I'm the only one doing anything."
Oh boy.
It goes on. The other one is in PF, was trying to clear PAS phase 1, was in PF and first pull in with the group we had in Rage Wipe at like 50%, and someone just left after first pull in Rage Wipe.
Okay.
See, that second one, that's just PF. That's just PF being PF. So that's not really a confession. First one, I mean, the first not really a confession. Relatable. It's so relatable.
It's so relatable. So funny thing about this is it's funny that this is a Shadowbringers experience, because that was this is something that happened that gave Dark Knight such a bad name in Heaven's Ward itself when it first came out. Everyone was like, Dark Knight is squishy, it dies so quickly. All it was a bunch of new people who had never played tank before picking it up and playing it in like Brayflox's long stop and getting absolutely obliterated. But the audacity, I'm the only one that's doing anything. What does that even mean in this case? Like, what else does he think he was doing?
Wow.
Chat's like, I've dealt with those people before. I've seen that happen with healers who not only like overheal a bunch, but then also don't DPS, and they're just like, I don't know why my other healer isn't doing anything.
Okay. I'll admit. I'll admit to being a passive aggressive healer like back in the day.
Oh, it's not like that anymore?
No,
not for you. You're not passive aggressive at all. No.
Oh no, not now. I remember this was like what, Sunken Temple of Corn. I
should call it Corn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't get me started on fucking names in this game, and I can pull up the Final Fantasy 11 sheet and we can go there.
Konstadt?
But either way, I forget which boss we were like really getting railed on, and it's like they were like I remember the tank taking a fuck ton of damage, and he was like, well, we could be out of here faster if you DPS. But I'm like, I'm trying to keep you alive. So, passive aggressively, I just peeled and didn't do anything else.
You motherfucker.
I just healed and just,
Saw it coming.
Glass of beer and everything. I'm like, y'all got this. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was like, that story's going to go one of two ways. That story's either going to be he literally never DPS'd for the rest of the dungeon, or only DPS'd and said, I thought you said it would go faster. But it doesn't seem to be working.
Did you die? But like the end all be all. But did you die though? Did you die though? Yeah. All right. Happy you have the next one, and I think it's rather short.
Yeah, the next one is very short, but it's also something that I both hate the person for and totally understand. I get it. And just scrolling up to the next one. I use the Red Mage LB3 during alliance raids on purpose to blind and potentially kill people. I totally understand that. I get it. I understand the draw for it. And I've seen red mages who do this.
Verblind.
Verblind, yeah.
Verblind.
It is still the most ridiculously like intrusive limit break in the game, and
especially while mechanics are going on. Holy fuck.
Yeah, you literally wait until there's like a knockback or some sort of ground AoE, and then you just pop it. Like you could throw your own life away, but you just pop it and you just hope for the best.
But forget trying to do any kind of mechanic during that, because I'm legally blind. I can't see.
You're legally and illegally blind in this case.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can be illegally blind, but we'll find a way with the Red Mage LB3.
For this one, I kind of say, you know what, I'll give it to you.
What is it? So because they're in rows of two, which I need to know if it's the left or the left or the right column.
Left or right column? What do you mean?
So the confession page, for me, it's in two columns. Like there's a left one and a right one. So like the next one, there's.
Oh, I see how you got it.
Yeah. Okay. So right. I need to know if you mean the really short one or the really long one.
Yeah. So you went to the left, and okay. The next one, honestly, isn't really anything. Again, I stopped playing tank and healer because it gives me anxiety. See, that's not really. I mean, it's a confession, but at the same time, understandable. You are forgiven.
Within reason, yes. What?
I feel like we need like gothic music or something in the background of this.
Gothic
or something.
Like a church, like church music, like in the back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All right. You got the next one.
All right, I'm gonna take the one. I haven't even glanced at these. I'm gonna take the left one because it's longer, and I don't know why, but I feel like when people with longer stories, the payoff is either better or it's worse, and it's so I just want to.
That's what makes them so good.
Yeah. There you go. My first time running the Dancing Plague, Titania, for anyone who doesn't know, was a trip. When we started, things were fine until the ad phase where both healers kept dying, almost perfectly alternating their deaths. While this was happening, one of our DPS players seemingly went AFK. They didn't show disconnected, just stopped playing. We failed the DPS check and wiped. One of the healers started yelling, DPS not doing enough damage, even though they were on the floor half the time. I tried to warn the party that a DPS was AFK, but they started again too quickly. Second time around had a similar result, frequent healer deaths and an AFK DPS. We didn't make the DPS check. After wiping again, the healer who complained, they yelled, the DPS sucks, and they dropped. The second healer, who never said a word, also said the same thing and dropped. So while we were waiting for a fill for two healers, we managed to kick the AFK DPS. 3 fills later, we cleared easily. That's an experience.
That was a ride. That's an experience. Holy shit.
See,
I feel like
I'll say this, Sly. I may have ribbed on the anecdotal experiences of Primal. Nothing like that has ever happened to me, ever, in any data center.
Yeah. I mean, like every now and then, the only time I will ever get anybody, AFKing is probably 24-mans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not as much. I don't know. I haven't seen that as much nowadays.
Yeah, not recently, but I'm saying like as far as like ever, the only time we ever get that is 24-mans, and it's like barely noticeable because, you can kind of get by without it. and be fine.
Yeah, I also wonder if this is. I see. Here's the thing: for the story, it has to be normal because there's no way like you joined a party finder for Titania and then just go AFK for every single fight, and then they said they filled. So like this is a normal mode run. This sounds like a as Chat said, a mount farm, but it's not. It's literally just their normal mode. And that's the thing. Like that's why I want to run normal modes for those videos, not extremes, because extremes are always like they just kind of sideways like half the time. You know, like, that's whatever. Unless you get mentor roulette, like you get mentor roulette Ramu or something, Ramu Extreme. That's truly a nightmare. But that's still understandable because it's like
the
people who
mentor,
don't know.
I'll admit the last mentor roulette that went like extremely bad for whatever random bumfuck reason was Chrysalis.
Oh yeah, Chrysalis is wild. Yeah. It can be wild. I haven't had a bad Chrysalis in a while. Oh, but you're on Primal, never mind. So I get it. Anecdotally, you've presented me an anecdotal bad experience on Primal once again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. I queued into a run of Grand Cosmos with a Dark Knight who, after wiping to the second trash mob pool twice and not using their AoE skills, admitted that this is my friend's account. They're letting me try out the class. Needless to say, the run was something.
You know, in Final Fantasy XI, I ran into this a lot, actually. Because it was an ordeal.
After playing, I can see that. I can kind of feel that.
Yeah, it was because it was an ordeal for anyone to, get. A lot of people didn't really have PCs, and the PS2 version, you had to buy this giant hard drive for the back of your PS2. It was this giant thing. And very regularly, people would join parties with that preconceived notion. And I knew real life friends who did the same thing. Like they were like, oh, I want to try out 11. It's like, just come to my house and like try and join, like just play one of my low level classes I don't care about for a bit and see if you like it. So
I actually heard a horror story like kind of like this from Kiri, actually. And all be all, it didn't turn out well. It was like, I think I can't remember the exact sequence of events, but what ended up happening is she, like, I guess this random dude who was part of her guild took her shit, like all of her shit, like all of her gear, everything, left her naked. Yeah, it was.
That is a horror story. Yeah. It's just I think a lot of people, like, it's been a few years since we've had like a lot of in-person experiences. A lot of people are just getting back to it, but this kind of stuff, like just letting friends try shit out, I mean, that wasn't that uncommon. I mean, I went over my friends' house to try games they had all the time, and it was just, in this case, it's just an MMO. Queuing into something that is level 80 probably wasn't the wisest of ideas, but then again, if you think about it, a 14 player knows what it's like to play the game at level 30. Well, Grand Cosmos is level 80, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about 11.
No, I'm talking about 14. But yeah, I mean, that's not that uncommon if you actually just hang out with people in person, which is,
Yeah.
I listen, I'm just as scared of it as all of you, but it happens sometimes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just like actually see people and you're just like, want to try it out? And that's it. That's how it goes. I'm assuming that's what it is, and not a case of they actually, though, it wouldn't be that surprising to see someone let their friend just log into their account to try something out. I would never do that.
Or it could be a cop-out, and they could be...
yeah, and they're just really bad. The fact that they waited until wiping after the second mob to say it, instead of warning it first, they're like, it's got real, I left my little brother in the ball pit at McDonald's, gotta go energy.
Yep.
Or my goldfish is on fire or something along those lines.
I gotta go take out my pet rock.
Yeah, good old Dwayne.
Yeah, what are these, like, these sound like the reasons to leave a PF. Like, we're just giving reasons to leave a PF.
Well, they're not reasons. They're ways of leaving a PF. My goldfish. No, I prefer my goldfish on fire. Because they're both absurd. But, like, I'm good. There you go.
Right.
All right. I am going to take this next one. I'm going to take the one on the right. So, the one that's for SOS. Was in an SOS Extreme Unsync Party Finder on Dance. Man, having a story from an unsynced Extreme Primal is never a good start. That is not... An unsynced party should never go poorly. Or most of the time not go poorly. Party leader wanted DPS to take both the towers... DPS take both the towers and the Bahamut tethers. I asked for clarification, said I'm pretty sure the tanks take north and the healers take south for those. Party leader insists this is fine. We wait for 3 pulls before I go. We cannot take both. We have a vuln from the towers. They must have been killing the ads faster before I joined because they continue to insist DPS can do both as I'm lying dead in my corner from Bahamut tethers. 2 pulls later, the leader says, we'll try again later, and disbands. Baffling. Absolutely baffling. This touches me in a special way because I have always said that the biggest problem with people is they have no idea what they're doing. They just do what they think is right, or they just do what they're told is right. And then when they try to think on their own, they just don't get very far. That is Final Fantasy XIV Party Finder in a nutshell. It's like, I know how to do this exactly one way. I always go northwest every single party I play in. If you ask me to go northeast, you were going to die. That's just how it is.
But what's worse is this is unsynced.
Yeah, that's never good. That's never good when unsynced is the problem. You'd also think that it wouldn't just be this person. Somebody else would have said... Everybody else just said fuck it and went along with it.
Fucking sheeple.
Sly, wait, did you already finish a whole margarita? Jesus Christ, Sly, these stories haven't even been that bad. How have you already been through one? Bro, it's 3:20. Oh, hey, it's 12:27 right now for me.
Hey!
That's the number. Okay. Anyway. I can't believe you're already on your second margarita.
Yeah, boy.
He needs it before he reads. The next one's a pretty long one, so.
Yeah, the next one's... I feel like this next one's going to be pretty good. Okay. On P6S... Enter a fresh prog party. Everyone enters the instance, but things don't start for 10 minutes.
God.
This sounds like, yeah. Someone in party's chat says they're talking pull. Dark Knight is not mitigating at all. Takes full TBs without even TBing. Oh dear. White mage, red mage on res duty for Dark Knight. Essentially every buster. Paladin's doing fine. Even saving the poor dude with a good clim. Paladin main feels good, man. Currently Reaper, top DPS. Remember how the Dark Knight keeps dying? Oh boy, synergy. I cry joyously as I explode for the 10th pull in a row. Start noticing the healer, Sage, I forget, and Sam start moving weird or just not at all. Even the DPS drops significantly. Suddenly the Sage just stops and dies. Sam targets them after a party wipe. Remember, Discord. Nothing in party chat right now. Suddenly, Sage just leaves. Then Sam leaves. The red mage was in the call, types in chat. Sorry, guys. They got in a fight and they broke up over Discord. Leaves without further elaboration.
God damn it.
That was a fucking journey. I mean, God.
That was a journey in multiple ways. I struggled with the punctuation there a little bit.
yeah, they struggled a little bit, but like I completely got what was going down.
I didn't see that ending coming at all.
Can we get that as a Final Fantasy 14 live action like Dad of Light? Can we get that as like an episodic kind of thing in the Party Finder? Like Tales from the Party Finder. Oh my God, this is like a perfect, oh my God. This is so perfect.
Leaves without further. I don't believe them. I think they're lying.
You know? You think? No, I don't know. Like I've seen boyfriend girlfriend shit happen in PF like so many times, and it sounds like the worst.
I've literally never had, like, I've just, again, I don't have these things happen on either.
That's because you never Waffle House rated, man.
That's true. I don't Waffle House rates. All the best divorces, divorces happen in Waffle House rates.
Again, you have privilege. You have privilege in the fact that you have not seen the dark side of PF, which is the Waffle House. Like, I implore you just to try it one night, just one night, because like if you try this multiple nights, it'll drive you fucking crazy. One night at a time that is ungodly for your data center. Just go into the PF. Go into the PF. You make an alt. Rename an alt. I don't care. They don't need to know it's Mr. Happy.
I think it's better if they do.
No, you won't get the same amount of entertainment. You won't get the same amount of entertainment, and people will actually fucking take it
serious. My main story, the guy tried to tell me my own strat. My name was in the party. Nobody reads. I'll be 80%,
fine. 80% of the time. Oh, okay. All right, cool. But I still think you should do it like undercover boss style and just not go as Mr. Happy. But yeah, do a Waffle House night and see how you come out of that experience.
Sly, you know what's funny, that undercover boss thing? Someone from my high school was on season 1 of that. They got fired from a local place. Yeah. They got blasted by the boss. They were like, you're the worst representation of the company I've ever seen in all the years I've owned it.
Wow.
It's okay. We didn't like her in high school anyway. Anyway, moving on. All right. Yeah, no, that one was a journey. That one was an oh my God, there's another Seed of Sacrifice one. I just scrolled
We're getting
up.
A lot of Seed of Sacrifice.
And listen, I will say this, if you bet low on the mentor thing so far, you're actually in a good spot because we haven't had a single mention. Yeah. I've seen there are a few mentor references here, but I have not seen another one since it's one that we started from the bottom instead of the top. So
right.
Curious about that. I guess I'm going to take the Seed of Sacrifice one. So,
okay.
Let me just get it on the screen for everyone so you can see the length of the text here. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. All right. Got the Seed of Sacrifice's daily roulette, and while there was a new person, initially everything was going very smooth until the active time maneuver. First time we hit it, and wipe. Unlike some of the other active time maneuvers where you can see who failed so we can make sure they know for next time, we have no idea who messed up. Drop some advice and try again. Failed the active time maneuver again. Gave more advice. Tried again. Failed again. After 5 wipes to the active time maneuver, multiple players wanted to vote abandon. They thought we were being trolled. But we had at least one new person who needed to do it for MSQ, so I wasn't leaving. We tried one more time, and on the 6th attempt, everyone succeeded. We never figured out who failed, and if it was done for trolling reasons or what. I think I was in this party.
I'm going to call this trolling reasons because holy shit. How do you advise someone on an active time maneuver? How?
You pass it.
Yeah. Go Donkey Kong on your fucking keyboard. There you go.
What does the advice look like here?
Yeah. That's.
Dude, chat has said this has happened. We've got the confessions in our own part, in our own stream chat, just being like, "Yeah, this has happened to me. 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 This has happened to me." And it's, you know what? I remember on launch this happening.
It happens once, but in my case, it'll happen one time. Well, no. See, here's the thing. Most of the active time maneuvers, it doesn't punish the party. It'll punish the one person who will fuck up. Is SOS the only time that it'll punish the party? I think there is another one that punishes the party if everybody doesn't do it.
No, I think this is the only one that actually punishes the entire party.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually shocked that neither of these have been LB3, tank LB3s. Problems.
we might get that.
Like I
feel like that's a common. I feel like the tank LB3, like either too early or too late, is a commonality in a lot of PFs, and that's fine. It happens.
Yeah, I was just hoping that they said on the 6th attempt we got through the ATE and then didn't get the tank LB. I was like really hoping that's what it was going to say as we started going through it. I was like, we made it. Oh, never mind.
So again, here's the advice. If you're playing on keyboard, just go straight Donkey Kong bongos on your keyboard. You'll get it. You'll get it. If you're on controller, just press every fucking button. Done. Congratulations. You know how to get through an active time event or active time maneuver.
Okay. What that?
Yeah.
Next one's yours.
Okay. Back in Shadowbringers, I was getting into Savage raiding and had recently cleared E5S as my first Savage raid. And so I decided to join a farm party, considering this is when the tier was unlocked and Echo was added. So I joined on Bard, and before we filled lead post and party chat, why Bard? I don't know how to answer. Bard is my main, and still is, so say nothing. I get kicked. I get kicked from an E5S farm party after the tier is unlocked. And with Echo for wanting to play Bard before we even instance in. I'm still salty about that moment, especially now that it feels like history is repeating itself with Bard's balance compared to the other Fizz ranged. Here's hoping Bard gets quality of life and firepower buffs in 6.4.
God, first of all, my son, worse. They dodged a bullet. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah. My son, you don't even need to be forgiven. Yeah,
you don't even be forgiven you were just, for playing Bard.
Yeah, you were just welcome in the house of the Lord. Well, like you automatically go to heaven. Yeah, like really, we're still doing this.
People are always going to do this, man. People are always.
We're still doing this.
I remember when Samurai was brand new, and it's like it was a little underwhelming.
And nobody wanted to take a fuck.
Yeah, nobody wanted to. But so I actually found out from a lot of people, the problem wasn't even that Samurai was like a little bit underperforming, because Samurai wasn't even doing that poorly. It was just like you played really well to do as well as the other jobs, but without utility.
Well, it was one of, like with Sam. I felt like it was one of two extremes. You had the Sams who were really good and could keep up, or you had the ones who really couldn't. There was no middle ground. And I feel like that's what led people to, having, the jaded feeling about Sams and just completely locking them out. Plus the fact that, they brought nothing to the table but their DPS. So if you didn't do good on DPS,
well, the big thing is that I saw people banning them from their party finders because they said, and I'm a little bit paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact words, but I'm like, this is close to the quote. Mm-hmm. All the fucking weebs playing this job aren't good at the game was the reason I was given for them locking it out of the party. It was because it was brand new, so like a lot of people just picked it up. But that was the like near quoted reason for just locking it out altogether. They were just like every fucking weeb who plays the job just playing. It's like no, every chat's like that checks. That's right. No, that's correct. Yeah, which is weird because you didn't see that with like Reaper when it was brand new. Like we haven't seen that with other jobs, but it's specifically because it's Samurai and everyone's just like fucking weebs.
Fucking weebs.
That's it. That was their reason.
Oh, but be a Samurai in PvP right now. Y'all are hot shit.
Yeah. Let's see. I have one that says it's not so bad here, which you're
going to take that one?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. What we could do is if we zigzag, I don't have to take it off screen, if that makes sense. So I've been taking them off screen. Yeah. So if I do take the short one here, then yeah, we can just start zigzagging through them.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, yeah, so I'll just get that there. All right, when I first started playing, I was on free trial, and I mainly played Conjurer, followed by White Mage. I was always confused why mobs would often aggro on me, and I reached the conclusion they were most likely to target free trial players. I know this makes no sense, but it embarrasses me that I genuinely thought that.
Oh, honey, you are so forgiven.
Pay for our game, or we'll kill you.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
You know what's funny?
So sorry
that sounds like something like a KMMO would do. Like if you weren't
really,
dude. I've seen some wild shit in KMMOs, bro. There was a game I played when I was young.
Lost Ark?
No, well, yeah, but I mean like older ones, like they're like in the like the early era of KMMOs. Because like I remember there was one where you could buy bombs from an NPC, and the bombs were deliberately meant to kill people and MPK them if they were botting. Like it was like if you were just auto battling between mobs, so you would just see a bot and you would just walk up to them and put a bomb down in their area, and then they would walk up to it and kill themselves. So like they had some wild systems in those games.
I mean, we don't have that kind of system, but I can kind of see how a new player would feel this way. Yeah. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you thought that. I'm so sorry that you thought that.
That's a confession. That's a confession.
That's a confession. And that's forgivable. Like, you're nobody's out to get you. I promise. Yoshi P isn't even out to get you. I promise you. Okay. So this one isn't so bad, relatively speaking, but here it is. I was a DPS in Brayflox. If I remember correctly, everyone else was a Sprout. Oh, God. We're a bit slow, so I peek at the party, cast bars, HP, and realize that Scholar is pretty seriously overhealing. But a second mini-boss, I hadn't seen them use a single damage spell. I gently tell them that they should use Ruin whenever everybody else is topped off. Dead silence. They weren't even using their dot. We get through the rest of the dungeon at a crawl. I never once saw them use a damage spell. After the last boss, I tell them, as gently and politely as I can, that healers in this game are expected to damage when not healing. Once again, the response. I don't know if they ever figured it out, but for everyone's sake, I hope they did.
You know, I have a lot of experience with this, but in a very different... So around that level is where this stuff happens the most, I find. I have had probably more than a dozen experiences like this with Black Mages and Cutter's Cry. Because that's the level where they start having to think about swapping with Fire 3 instead of using Transpose. Or they start spamming Fire 3 or Blizzard 3. Like, that's the level range where that starts happening. And I always try to say, hey, listen... Not trying to sound like a jerk, but, you know, that's not how those spells are supposed to be used. And I either get, it's always one of three responses. It's dead silence, you don't pay my sub, or hey, thanks. Like and that hey, thanks is like one out of every God knows how many.
Yeah. Now, I'll play devil's advocate and say that since we're talking about Brayflox, and this is like a new, like, you know, early dungeon, I'm assuming this is a newer player. So I'm assuming one of two things, maybe three. Okay. They're playing on console and they don't have a fucking keyboard and they're not going to type the shit out on controller. They're a newer player and, you know, they've gotten through, you know, it doesn't really, nowadays, it doesn't really take long to get a Brayflox, honestly. So, you know, they're doing the whole single player shtick. If third, they just don't give a fuck. You don't pay their sub.
No, they really don't. It always blows my mind when I see that kind of stuff. I'm like, hey, you know, I just, you know, somebody else might not be as nice as me, so I wanted to be the one to tell you, and you know, I'm just hoping that you know it's okay, and then you're still just like, don't report me. Nowadays, that's all it is. Please don't report me. Oh man, yeah, that one isn't so bad. It's unfortunate, but it's not so bad. That's for certain.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna zigzag up to the next one. Sometimes I like to hop into T. Ooh. Okay, I like to hop into T clear for insert number of people, parties, to get people clears because the fight is fun. Probably my favorite one has to be the time I forgot How long ago where we were in a clear party for someone and immediately wonder if our white mage knows what they're doing because they weren't sure what their co-healer meant by top to bottom. Oh, that's not a thing you can't know in T. Or bottom to top cleanses. But then we pulled anyway and we noticed that the white mage was healing the tank with Cure 1. Cure 1. Eventually we ask them what their prog point is and they respond, "This is my first time here." And it wasn't a joke where someone who clears dozens of times says, "First time, by the way," is a meme. No, it was legit their first time. Needless to say, they didn't stick around much longer. That's two very unfortunate experiences wrapped up into one.
Well, okay. So they do say that they go into, they're a PF hero. They go into T clear for so-and-so. They didn't realize this clear for so-and-so was somebody who never been into the instance at all.
Yeah.
I believe there has to be a little bit more communication on the PF side. Hey, clear for so-and-so. They've never been in. So just say that you're teaching for one. At that point, just say you're teaching for one. Because literally, if you're teaching for one, you're it's almost like you're teaching for all, but you're teaching the entire fight. So there are going to be a lot of wipes. There are going to be because again, we're talking about ultimates, and ultimates are highly dependent on the party. So if one person fucks up, that's the party. So I feel like in this instance, the person who hopped into the tea party, you are forgiven. You are forgiven. The person who made the tea party, you go straight to hell. I'm sorry. You go straight to hell.
Go straight to hell.
No, 15 Hail Marys, none of that. You just go straight to hell. I'm sorry.
Is that like going straight to jail, but like hotter?
Hotter, yeah. Or colder. Depending.
True.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
All right. Another tea. If it counts, join a static from PF for UCOB, which became T-Prog after 2 weeks of not getting out of Twintania. When we planned on doing T, I offered to shot call all of E1S to E4S, just static since I was familiar with it. There was a samurai in the group that would not listen and just call me various things while I was explaining. Think back to high school and everything that was said back then. You don't say anymore in public. Dude was also the static lead's boyfriend. And even the lead didn't know what to do and how the guy's personality do with the guy's personality, I'm guessing. I left the group that same night and told the lead that I had stuff come up which prevented me from rating with them, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Yeah, this person, you are forgiven.
Yeah, no, that doesn't even need forgiveness. That other person needs Jesus.
Yeah, they're to the person in there who had the overbearing boyfriend.
They also need Jesus, but for a different reason.
They also, yeah. I mean, I get it. I've seen people in that situation, but sometimes you.
Oh, hell no. No, dude, honestly, though, I'm shocked this story didn't end.
You gotta, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You got to separate your dick from the fucking PF. I'm sorry. You're going to have to separate your dick from the static. You got to separate the dick / coochie from the static. If y'all have a relationship going on, y'all need to work that shit out before you get to raid day or raid night. I don't care. I don't care what's going on in your life. As long as it doesn't seep into the group, it's fine. It's fine. We don't want to see your dirty laundry. If we do, I'm drinking and making popcorn for this shit while y'all hash it out. But it should not affect everybody else, which in this case, it did. So
I'm shocked this story doesn't end with we were stuck in Twintania for 2 weeks and I left. Like, I'm shocked there's the middle section's even in there, because that's something to just be like, well, we didn't make it out of Twintania for 2 weeks. This sure is going places.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I've only seen I've seen like a few like couples raids work out okay. I know a few people. I can name a few people.
I mean, I do too, but at the same time, I've seen some go horribly wrong.
Horribly
in the middle, horribly wrong in the middle of the raid. And I'm like, bro, like, this ain't even my fucking static. I'm just here like because y'all just put this shit in PF and you wanted us to be in Discord. But okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, they just need. So here's the thing: if you're in a relationship and you want to raid, please go watch Stall Raid with Q and emulate that experience, and and let no other example even enter your mind.
Yep,
that is the positive influence that you need. Trust me. All right, let's see. What do we have here? Got put in a Don Meg run with a red mage who did not understand how dual cast worked and just spammed for Thunder nonstop. After 2 wipes on the first boss and 1 on the second, the instance was vote abandoned / euthanized. After 45 minutes,
it took y'all
2 wipes on the first boss. It took you 45 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna be the one to say it. That's not solely the red mage's fault. There's no reason why the red mage doing for Thunder would wipe you on the first boss of Don Meg. That's a
group. That's a group dynamic.
Yeah, that's a 3 to 4 person. But that's the healer had to have done something here,
right?
Whoever it was. So yeah, I will say the first part and the second part are technically 2 different stories. Now, if it was the second boss, I would understand, because the tethers on the second boss could be problematic if the red mage is, a bit of a menace, but not the first boss. So there's more to that story that we don't know, and we probably never will know.
Again, with these confessions, we need the entire story. Like, you just can't give us like a half-ass story. Like, we can read between the lines half of these because we've been there. So,
oh yeah.
Next one. My confession is that I refused to heal and summarily killed a black mage in Alliance Roulette, World of Darkness. I was being a shitlord in just a toxic fucking game. They refused to move for shit out of mechanics and insulted my co-healer for rescuing them from something that would have killed them. During the second boss. Okay. During the second boss, I had enough of them and their bullshit, so I killed them directly in the path of an AoE. Following that, they left without a word. No vote kick needed. They were quickly replaced, thank God. I was thinking I would have been reported for the rescue kill, but nothing came of it. So I guess that's it. Vigilante justice?
Vigilante justice. Yeah, you know what they say, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but at the same time, I approve.
You approve?
I approve a little bit.
Okay, you are forgiven.
Yeah, you're definitely forgiven for that. Assuming there's no exaggeration to the degree of their buffoonery.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked this person was not reported. I'm also shocked that the black mage left. I mean, I figured he'd at least just, if I die, I just won't get up, and then I'll just survive till the end and get my roulette done.
I mean, I've been saved by a rescue a few times before. Like, I'll accept it. Like, hey, thanks. Hey, thank you.
I've been killed by a lot of rescues, Sly.
I have been killed by a rescue too. Yes, there is the other side of that. But I'll take the rescue saves. Like, if I'm being greedy, yeah, fucking yoink my ass, please. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. At least that person confessed. They did confess their sins.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Next one we have, I once joined a P5 SPF, and during the countdown, I realized I had a different commitment that I would be late to do if I didn't leave then. Instead of saying simply, hey, I gotta go, I unplugged my Ethernet cable and pretended to DC for 10 minutes until I'd get kicked from the party for not returning. That's a classic. That is an absolute classic right there. Mm-hmm. The oops, my internet went out. Oh no. I guarantee you, I was going to say, a lot of chat have probably done this one.
Yeah, at least once or twice. Like, oh shit, I got to have somewhere to be? Oh no, my internet's down. Oh boy.
It's like a social anxiety thing, because you're like, oh shit, I forgot. I don't want to have to like say anything. So I'm just it's literally an Irish goodbye in the Party Finder. It's like the equivalent of an Irish goodbye.
Right. But then you have the people who are, will say like, hey, sorry, I just had something come up. But, at the same time, they're afraid they're not going to, it's not going to be believed. But at the same time, they'll still say it because they're being honest. And I appreciate that as well. This, however, I understand because everybody has done this. Everybody has done this at least once.
I've definitely done it. And I play Final Fantasy 11 on PS2, so I literally can just grab the back of the PS2. But on the PC version of Final Fantasy 11, if you tabbed out of the game, you could crash the game. So that's all you had to do back then. But in 11, it's also like you join a party and it's like the worst party, but you're not dying, but it's just like agonizingly slow. And you're like, I'd rather do nothing at all. And it's hilarious because what'll happen in 11 is you'll disconnect from the party and your character will log out. But because nothing's instanced really, eventually you have to log back in. So you start playing the mental game of, I wonder if they stayed there. Can I log back in now and keep playing? Or should I wait 20 or 30 minutes? You start playing the because you don't want to log back in when they're still there, either A, waiting, or B, they've filled. And then they come back and then you just warp out and you're like, not saying anything, not saying anything, not saying anything, not saying anything. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good confession. But you know what? Yeah. I wouldn't say you're forgiven, but I get it.
We understand.
Yeah.
15 Mentor roulettes for you. I know that's kind of harsh. I'm sorry. 5. You don't know what you're gonna get. I got severely harassed for not being comfortable with the big pull just before the first boss of Katana Reveal, because dodging the wall AoEs is annoying with that many enemies. Okay. The healer and the DPS then proceeded to harass me about how they weren't comfortable with me not doing that pull, and that because they weren't comfortable with the lack of the pull, I was harassing them. The harassment continued the whole dungeon even after asking nicely to be left alone at that point. Needless to say, blocked the entire party and reported them.
You're harassing us by pulling slowly. That's what I'm getting here. I mean, I've seen that before. I've seen, normally you just see the healer run up ahead and start pulling enemies and shit. That's the other way this story goes is your healer just deciding, you know what? That's it. Oh, here, let me go. There we go. So yeah, no, that's just shitty. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Here's the thing: if you're someone who struggles with being in a duty finder where the people are going way too slow and you just hate it, here's what you do: you do what I do. Okay, You agonizingly say things to yourself in real life out loud and be like, oh my God, it's going to be one of those. And then you just do it anyway because you already fucking signed up for it. Or you leave.
Right.
Those are your options. Don't actively complain at the person for doing it slowly.
See, I was brought up under the notion that, the tank controlled the party. The tank controlled the speed of the party. no matter what. So if it's a new tank, I can kind of tell it's a new tank based on the pace that we're going. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. You know what? Like, I've been there before. I completely understand. I'm not going to grief them. I'm just going to let them go at their speed because that's what they're comfortable with. So I'm not going to like grief them and say like, hey, you can probably pick it up. I mean, somebody probably will say it like, and there's a nice way of saying it. Like, hey, if you feel like it, you can pick up a few more mobs. We'll back you up. We got you back, homie. But don't be a complete fucking dick about it. That's what we're saying.
You know what the worst?
Go ahead.
You know what I think is the worst? It's
what's up?
It's when the DPS has something to say. Because when you wall-to-wall dungeons, and this isn't as much of a problem now as it used to be when we had like TP or like resources were a little bit more strict in pulls and whatnot. But you used to have the tank and the healer that were using all their cooldowns and making sure to keep the tank alive. And the tank was, doing the big pulls and the chain pulls, and they had all their timings down. But the mobs just die super slow because the DPS are awful. And then the DPS complains about the tank taking too much damage because he's like run his course with his cooldowns because the pulls are taking too long. That is the pinnacle of bullshittery when it comes to dungeon runs.
Yeah. When you have that one DPS who's doing single target while the other one's probably doing AoE. Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely the way. It's when the DPS acts like they matter more than they do when they're doing nothing. By far the worst.
Yep.
Oh, this is a long one we got for this next one. Holy moly, it doesn't even fit on the screen. Here we go. That's better. All right, this happened during last expansion, but I'm omitting most of the details for the sake of it. If this is omitting most of the details, I don't want to know what the rest of them are. And to keep it short, helping a group clear an ultimate in PF, a few pulls in and one of the two melees makes an offending joke about beating... Oh, God, here we go. Consider myself a somewhat well-respected and known member of the ultimate rating community at the time, and most of the people I've rated with, including this melee, know that I'm trans, so the joke didn't sit well with me. They immediately apologized. I told myself I wouldn't let it get... Okay, if you're going to say it, you can't just apologize right afterwards. What the... That's dumb. Idiots. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's an I'm sorry you heard me say it. That's not an I'm sorry I said it kind of situation. We continued on, made it to enrage. I was pretty furious at the point due to multiple other things, but after both melees ignored me and refused to LB3 with a 1% wipe, the only response I got was Ninja shouldn't have to LB3, and I said fuck it and left the party immediately. It was the first time I felt angry playing this game. Yeah, people on the internet. They don't know how to be around other people.
They don't know how to internet.
They don't know how to people.
They don't know how to people. Thank you. I'm sorry. I need to take a swig on that one. Okay, first of all, to the person who submitted this, you are forever welcome in the gates of heaven. Welcome. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Holy shit. Like, I mean, what can you even say to that?
That you're disappointed in humanity?
Yeah.
Also, to top it off, the ninja shouldn't have to LB3. Man, that's...
Fuck you, whoever said... first of all, fuck you, whoever said that. Because I've had those people in party before. And like my boss, I'm in burst. Can you help me out here? No, you should do it. Ninja don't LB.
Ninja normally LB3s is the funny thing. They actually do. It's like it's pretty common to LB3 as the ninja. I know as long as it's not a 1 minute window, then they're literally like the job.
And they weren't. And they weren't. But I was because like I died, I guess, earlier. I was catching up and I was in the middle of burst. Don't ask me to fucking LB in the middle of burst. Please don't. Because I'm gonna say no. No, you got time. You ain't doing nothing important.
No, ninjas are doing absolutely nothing important at all. Most of the time. Every minute they do something important. Other than that, they're not doing anything. It's literally 1, 2,
right.
3.
Right. And we're the exact same. Like, bro, like outside of my burst, you were good. Like, we ain't doing shit. Like, bro, we're just going in clocks, pretty much, as Dragoons. So yeah, we're good. Anytime outside of that, you're good. Like, my old raid mate who was a monk, like, he had no problem. We went back and forth with it, and like we had no problems, taking it for the other. Like, he would let me know, Sly, can you LB? Like, sure, fuck yeah. Let me get out of this. I'm like, Marth, can you LB? Like, yeah, give me a second. So we had that understanding. And I guess this is more of a static kind of thing because this was my static back in the day. PF, good luck.
That's the motto of the PF. PF, good luck. Remember in Star Fox 64 before every mission, what Rob telling good luck every time.
Good luck. Yeah.
There you go. All right. I read that one.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Yeah, that made me take a swig from the tequila straight up.
Oh, is that what that was? I didn't see what it was.
Yeah.
I'll take a swig of water.
I mean, I got mine. In a mason jar. My nightmare is something that has.
Oh no, you missed one. You missed one.
Wait,
the one to the right. It should say one day I'm leveling my.
Oh
ass.
No. Yeah. What? Yeah. One day I'm leveling my ass in Q&A Don Meg.
Fucking Don.
All seems good at first. When we get to the first mob pull, the tank does those weird movements while grabbing aggro and continues on to the next mob group. I don't think much of it. At first, these movements keep getting him hit by AoEs throughout the dungeon. And I'm healing my butt off, trying to keep him alive. So I'm initially thinking it's probably a new player that's boosted or something. Anyway, we reached the last pack of mobs before the final boss. The tank pulls everything. Continues doing these wild movements and ends up dying, so I raise him. We somehow make it through and finish the dungeon. He types an incomprehensible sentence. Here's the kicker. It was a bot.
Yeah, I saw that one coming a mile away because bots are designed to do like specific movements whenever you get them in a dungeon. And Don Meg was a strangely like highly botted dungeon. I don't know why. I've heard a lot more.
I've never gotten a bot. I've never seen a bot like tank or be a part of a party.
I have. Sly, I have a confession. Now you've just reminded me of one.
Ooh.
This story reminded me of one. Back in A Realm Reborn, I was doing, I don't remember. I think it might have been Brayflox normal. And, oh no, it was Brayflox hard. And we were going through, and there was a player who was doing like a lot of weird stuff. Stuff kind of like what's described here. They weren't responding in party chat. I was trying to offer advice a little bit. And I remember I was live on stream, and I said, I think this guy's a bot. Like, just the way he moves, just the way everything happens, it just doesn't make sense that it's like a real player. So I was like, let me check. Let me check to see if this is a bot. So
how do you check?
I type in party chat. I say, hey, could everyone just jump real quick to see if they would do it? And then they jumped, and I was like, oh. Oh, that's not the result. I was hoping to be right, because now I've just called them shit for the last 15 minutes. If everyone could just jump for me real quick.
Can everyone just jump real quick?
Yeah, can you just jump to see if everyone's here real quick? Marco Polo, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, mine was just can you jump? And they jump. And I don't think the bot was prepared to jump. I'm pretty sure it just is what it is. So sorry years ago to that person, but you were weird. I don't know what else to say. Oh man. All right, here's the one that you were actually starting to read from before. My nightmare is something that has constantly happened throughout 3 expansions. I've been someone who has always wanted to do Savage. I ask my friends and they tell me, yeah, we'll bring you along when the time comes. I get ghosted and told on that we already have someone, or hey, no one in our group needs that stuff anymore, so we won't help you. God, that happened to me with 1.0, actually. Get some gear. At this point, it just feels like a constant problem again and again. So what I'm telling you is you have shitty friends. And they're not your friends, and fuck them. Not physically, like emotionally separated.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah. Because a lot of people need that kind of comfort getting into the raids for the first time. They will not just hop into Party Finders. Way too much social anxiety to just go right into Party Finder. And so when your friends say they want to do shit with you and then they literally never do it, it's not good. It's not good.
Not good.
So that's the problem. Your friends are shitty. So if you're here, I hate to be the one to break it to you. Oh man.
Oh,
that's it for that one. I don't have anything else to add. You have shitty friends.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's get this next one for you.
Yeah, I got that.
There we go.
Yeah. Back when the first tier of Panda was current, my static had to find a couple fill-ins. Unfortunately, through PF for P3S, encountered the funniest tank we've ever seen. The PF Paladin for pre-pull would pop either Sentinel or Rampart. It was never consistent. And would then use the other alongside Hollow Ground before the first tethers even went out.
I know what happened. I know how this happened. I actually know what happened. They macroed all their defensives together. They macroed all their defensives together.
That does sound like, yeah.
That's what they did. The 100%, they macroed all their defensives into one thing and just pressed it a bunch pre-pull, and then they got what they got. I have no doubt. About this. You know why I know? Because it reminds me of a Realm Reborn. No, it reminds me of a Realm Reborn where all of us 11 players were trying to make efficient macros, like reduce button bloat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of that. It reminds me of Bloodletter macros. It reminds me of buff macros when we had like 7 buffs for every job. It's the exact same problem because they do not go off in the same order every time. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I haven't seen like in my playthrough of 11. I haven't seen macros like that deep. You know, like when I'm doing stuff with Xeris, like Xeris has a macro for like, hey, close for me, Sly. I'll close for him, and that's fine. That's the only macro. I'll have a macro for whatever I need to close for him on, like whatever effect will do. But yeah, I haven't seen anything that deep.
Yep, this is I guarantee you, if you could sit me down with the person, that they are using a macro that is. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's unfortunate. All right. Next one we have here. There was a time where I queued into Katana Ravel from Leveling Roulette. This would be my first time tanking it in a really long time. So I said, hey, I literally haven't tanked in over a year. I'm not comfortable in big pulling. Healer insisted I big pull after rescuing me further. See, now this is how I expected the other story to go. DPS also seemed complicit because they were rushing ahead too. So I wasn't comfortable. So I stayed to tank the first singular pull, which they eventually walked back and killed. I was then vote dismissed. Nobody in the party ever said anything or really acknowledged my warning. That's very reportable, by the way. Very reportable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know people who have been reported for just doing a well-intentioned rescue and upsetting another player. So, yeah, no, that is super high on the you could have reported their ass. And probably should have, to be honest. Like, it's one thing if friends are ribbing each other, like if you're the healer and tank and you're both friends with each other and then the healer's ribbing on you, but it's way different here.
Yeah. You ascend to the gates of heaven for your patience. Welcome.
For your patience.
Yeah.
That's about all you need to get through that.
Yeah. One time, I was doing Tsukiyami normal for the first time as main tank. She was about to do her tank buster, but everyone was gathered around me and showing no signs of moving. I thought it was a cone cleave since it had the yellow marker instead of the red one, instead of that small diamond-shaped thing that the tank buster actually is. So I decided to move to the other side of the boss to keep the assumed cone cleave away from everyone else. Little did I know that a Reaper was still there who had done absolutely nothing wrong, and it ended up killing him. I still feel kind of bad about it because I imagine it looked like a targeted hit. Yeah.
Why was your whole party on you for a tank? Wait,
I mean, really? Like, well, he said this was a normal run. But even still, like, what the fuck?
That's got real Dante, I wasn't even supposed to be here today energy for that fucking Reaper. It's got big energy on that front. Just to I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Honestly, I feel like the lesser of the two evils was for you to stay with the party.
Yes.
The one Reaper with who was just minding his business. He was just he was an unfortunate casualty in all this. And you admitted that and you accept it. But yeah, you should just stay with the party. Fuck them.
God, you know what I'm shocked we haven't seen yet? A tank that's done that, but on Shiva, the Shiva hard mode tank story. That I'm surprised hasn't popped up here at all, because that's always, especially back in the Realm Reborn, that was a disaster. When the tank would be like, I thought it was like Shiva Extreme.
Omi, you were exactly right. This is the trolley problem. This is exactly the trolley problem.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you never heard of the trolley problem?
Nope.
Where you have a trolley and it's basically a I guess a social well, we wouldn't call it social experiment, but you have this trolley that can go down one of two paths. One, there's a path with, like, let's say 5 people on the track. The other, there's a path with only 1. So, who do you choose? Which path do you choose? Yeah, it's a social experiment.
If somebody picks the 5, now if there's no other designation and it's just 5 versus 1, are you a sociopath if you pick the 5?
In this case, no. I feel like in this case, no, because they chose to be there. They chose to be on top of the main tank. So I feel like in this case, the trolley problem doesn't apply because we're dealing with the people.
I see. So it's not which path. It's specifically if you do nothing, you'll hit the 5, and if you flip the switch, you'll hit the 1. So it's 5 people who are choosing themselves to be.
Either way, you're making a choice. That's the way I've always interpreted it. Like, either way, you're making a choice.
I get it. Yeah, and it is. Now it makes sense. Yeah. So it's like, do you just stay on the path that you've chosen and the 5 people who put themselves in your path are just goners in the case of the tank buster, or do you make the decision to save them but it costs somebody else? Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Like, I see that, because that just sounded like I was choosing between numerically hitting 5 people versus 1 person, and I was like, what the hell? But if you start giving me conditions, the answer to that changes considerably. Like Sly, if you were the 1, I would pick the 5. I'm going to go to prison, but I'll still pick the 5. They'll be like, it's involuntary, but still. There you go. How do the 5 people getting out? How did they get onto the track? How are they getting out?
We don't know.
Okay. Nope.
I don't know.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, the next one's yours, Sly.
I feel like no. I feel like they're the same. They are the same. Look at them.
Wait, what? Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just did the.
No, like, I think they submitted like 3 times. Yeah, they did submit 3 times.
Oh, yeah. So this is fine. So I read this one and then we'll skip past. I had some people say that they had issues, so they might have multi-submitted. So
yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well then this one's mine, and then I'll just scroll directly up. The one directly above the one on the left. So that's fine.
Okay.
Back during Stormblood, I got the Royal Menagerie in the Duty Finder. Please let this be about Tidal Wave. Sadly, one of the tanks turns out to be super toxic, talking shit and belittling the healers because they refuse to use a single cooldown. We get as far as ads phase before they cause a wipe. This tank then calls us out for calling us shit at the game, despite some of us already having EXN weapons equipped, and logs out the game to avoid penalty. Having had enough of this dude's attitude, the entire party unanimously decides we are not allowing them to skip the penalty. So we wait there about 20 minutes, and then he logs back in. So... and then sees that we're still in the duty and logs back out. Another 10 minutes, logs back in, sees we're still in the duty. Demands we kick him, so we tell him no because we didn't want to award his toxic behavior, so they give up and leave the duty. Was this petty? Maybe, but it sure was satisfying.
You are forgiven. Welcome to the gates of heaven.
Yep.
Goddamn, that was like... No, that is peak petty, and I fucking love it. Chef's kiss.
Yes.
Chef's fucking kiss.
Listen, I do petty shit like that sometimes too, where I'm just like, I described it like one way I'm super petty like this is with when I say I don't like something, and then somebody gets really mad at me for my very logical reason, and then I just escalate it. I've been talking about this a lot. So, like, for example, I don't like Nier Automata's gameplay that much. I like most of the rest of the game, but I don't like the gameplay. It's not, there's not enough depth for me, and I don't find the hits very satisfying. You know, like, there's no weight behind it. Very reasonable reasons to not vibe with it.
Reasonable, yeah.
Yeah.
You come from the Devil May Cry, so it's reasonable.
So then when somebody gets really mad at me for having that opinion, like, you know what, fuck it. The whole game sucks. How about that? All the games suck. I'll just throw it right back in their face. You can't fucking take one opinion. Fuck you. The whole game sucks. All right?
Oh, don't get me started with the Final Fantasy fans and Shin Megami Tensei. Oh, don't get me started. Oh boy, I love getting into that argument.
Oh my God.
All the fucking time.
Oh yeah.
All the fucking time. I will with no navigation. I love it. Oh, but next one. Praetorium. When queuing Mentor Roulette, this is one. It's an automatic Alt F4 and do something else for 15 minutes.
You're the guy who just tried to leave the... Wait, this is the guy who was in the Shinryu party. He wrote a confession. It's the same guy. This is the guy who got trapped in... This is why he does it. I'm waiting for this to end with... one time... I was waiting for the story to be like, well, one time I was in the Royal Menagerie and everyone else was doing horribly, so I tried to leave for 20 minutes.
Oh, my God. Okay, let me start over.
Okay.
Praetorium. When queuing Mentor Roulette, it's an automatic Alt F4 and do something else for 15 minutes, which once turned into 30 minutes by accident, and upon logging in, I was still in the instance and had to receive credit for the run.
Damn. That's bad behavior being... That's bad behavior being rewarded.
Oh, man.
I wonder when this happened.
No. You can't get rewarded for this. You got 10 more. You have 10 more Mentor Roulettes, and I hope at least 6 of them are EXs.
I hope 6 of them are Praetoriums. I'm not trying to cut them a break. Shit, just throw. It's 10 Mentor Roulettes, and they're all Praetorium. There you go. Praetorium's not even that bad anymore. It's like 25 minutes.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Yeah.
Even with the changes and everything? Yeah. Like, Praetorium got the updates, right? Yeah.
I mean, all of the Ultima fight is like 25 minutes, but it's its own instance now.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then we go... Oh, I see a Sunken Temple of Karn story. This is going to be a time. Got Sunken Temple of Karn in Roulette as Sage and died on the first pull because the Paladin was pulling big without using AoEs. I typed Total Eclipse, please use it. I was going to say it definitely was using auto-translate. And one of his DPS, who turned out to be their FC lead, immediately flew off the handle at me with manners. Please use it. Jackass. This very stable person spent the rest of the run snapping at me whenever I said anything and left a parting shot after the final boss. When you are tank, you can run the dungeon how you want, but you aren't the tank. LOL. Stop trying to mansplain shit. No one cares. They earned an immediate report for rude and aggressive behavior. Yeah, no, if your paladin's not using AoE, no, they're griefing.
Yeah. They're griefing.
Manners. I will say pretty passive aggressive to use auto translate. I can tell you right now, auto translate is the most passive aggressive way to communicate anything.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That being said, also not using AoE, not great.
Yeah, so we're putting them a blame. We're putting the blame on the tank. So tank and their FC lead. Yeah. Like 15 mentor roulettes for y'all. Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy. You're up next, Sly.
I was in Party Finder with some members of my static, trying to clear P8S. I missed out on the static's first clear of it because of a serious headache. They had set up the party as C41. Someone joined the party and proceeded to fail nearly every mechanic in the fight. They just could not do snakes or dog 2. We only barely made it into part 2 of the fight by the skin of our teeth. We then spent 30 minutes in part 2 of P8S with them failing NA1 several times, and one of the few times we made it to LD, them going to the completely wrong side of the arena. They didn't ask in party chat, which one of us is getting their first clear? Because I really cannot tell. Every one of you is trash. And left the instance and party. They had more deaths than anyone else in the entire group, have been the only person to not go to the correct spot during the LD.
Classic. I feel like I need a cigarette after reading that. It's just so.
Go break out the whiskey. Go break out the whiskey.
I got shit to do today. I ain't having whiskey
at
damn 1:30 in the afternoon. I don't have Mario Party to do today, unfortunately, Sly, but you know.
I'm sorry, Midna. If you're here, damn. Fuck. Oh boy.
No, the last one sounded like the truth, Sly. You're like, oh boy. Toxic
look,
Sly.
I could play more fucking Honkai. And I just got Sela. Finally.
Oh,
Shit.
Nice. Yeah, I got her from the free 10 pull they gave us the other day. That was great.
Fuck all y'all. Fuck all of you.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Next one. Thought I'd queue for Trial Roulette as White Mage and got Lakshmi normal with a co-healer in Ironworks. They were getting one-shotted by Raid White, so the fight turned into one big frantic mess of me trying to keep everyone alive single-handedly. When I pointed out they were severely under-geared for their level and role, I got a, this is just an alt, just stop bitching. This is just an alt.
Just an alt. I mean...
Classic.
Classic. Yeah, classic.
God, this reminds me of every single expansion, but more so, I guess, Heaven's Ward, where people tried to roll with level 50 gear to get to 60, and you'd get the tanks who would do massive pulls at like level 57-ish and get obliterated with the level 50 gear. It has that kind of energy of just like trying to coast out, but that's coasting for a Wait, if it's just an alt, then why the fuck are you in Trial Roulette? Like, what are you even doing there? If you're gonna level it, then there's like relic gear, man. There's job quests to do. Wait a minute. There's job quests that give them gear up to this point. At least level 60 stuff. Oh, man. Yeah, that's toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's toxic. Oh, yeah, Doma Castle's a big one for that. Stormblood, yeah, Stormblood Doma Castle. Yeah, no, that's huge for people trying to roll in with level 60 gear and getting obliterated. Yep, that's a prime example. Hey, what the heck? There we go.
Doing Baja content when it was old.
Again, you went up instead of left.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait.
I was helping a friend clear P8S. Should have been the one.
That's mine?
Yeah.
Oh, they put it...
There's going to be a few that are posted twice, but yeah, it's the one to the left of the trial roulette one.
Yeah. Yeah. I was helping a friend clear P8S, and the party leader was your typical rah-rah PF party lead. I'm trying to think if I had any of those. Either way. We got through door boss and a couple of pulls, then spent an hour memeing around phase 2. This is a Waffle House party.
I thought it said that for a second because you said it like it was part of the thing. I was like, wait, it doesn't say that.
Yeah. Party lead was doing their best to keep hope alive and lamenting their mistakes. And long last, their magical clear pull happens, and it's a wondrous PFC46. Everyone's happy. Party leader's overjoyed and thanking everyone profusely. Great vibes all around. It's also my friend's first savage tier clear for good measure. Alas, memories are short in the party finder. A few days later, my friend and I are doing P8S for re-clears and run into the same party leader from the clear run. Said party leader does not recognize either of us and griefs snakes a couple of times, eventually leading to a party disband. In true PF fashion, they were quiet the entire time.
How the tables turn. How the PF tables turn so quickly. I have seen this so many times. Everyone's on the light side of the PF, and then they clear, and now they're on the dark side of the PF. I don't know how it happens. It's like people clear and they just forget that the fight still requires you to do things. It's okay. Unfortunate, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. This one looks
like a honeymoon phase.
Yeah, the honeymoon phase. Fortunately, the one that you were about to read will actually be the one that you read afterwards, so it kind of works out.
Yeah.
I was doing roulettes with a friend using my recently leveled up warrior, and I had aiming accessories on and probably bad gear altogether, so my health pool was really crap. But we managed to survive some pulls and progress was being made. That until the two mentors in my party took notice of my unintentional trolling. They kicked me and left my friend alone with them. Why didn't they just say anything?
Was that 2 right now? 2 mentors? Yeah, if we're keeping count.
What was the previous mentor one? I missed it.
Let me go back down.
I don't remember one that was meant. Oh, you're right. That might be something mentor related.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mentors just kick. Yeah, they're meant to. One mentor. So imagine if you get into a mentor program, right? Just imagine this. You join the mentor program and you walk in and you make a mistake. And the mentors drop kick you out of the fucking building. They just literally both get on a chair, jump, drop kick you in the chest out the front door. That's essentially it's like, that's what you get. Glad to have mentored you. Not, hey, did you know you're wearing aiming accessories and that you shouldn't be wearing those? You know?
Nope. You don't get that. Fuck that. What are NA mentors? Again, this is mentor. I will say this again for like the 100th time. Mentor is a thing primarily for the JP community. It ain't meant for us. That shit was not meant for us. They gave it to us. I mean, sure, we'll take it. I mean, I'll take a few extra tomes. Sure, why not? But that shit ain't meant for us. Oh no.
I will say this: they went in knowing they had aiming. I'm under the impression they knew they had really bad gear, which is also not a great thing to do. But I'm shocked that the mentors, at this point, I'm just shocked the mentors didn't at least inquire first. Like maybe it was an accident in some capacity before. Because if then they had been like, no, this is all I have, it'd be like, oh, well, that's kind of griefing. But, you know, it is what it is. Teacher walks into the classroom, sees you brought an English book to math class, and expels you from school.
That sounds like college. Like they see you brought the wrong fucking textbook. Yeah, you're done for the semester.
That's edition 6. Well, I just released edition 7 this year, and you need to go buy that one for $300. Yeah, or you can suck my dick. How about that? You want to pay my fucking college bills? How about that? In fact, I'm gonna go. You know what? I will get your book. I'm gonna go download it. How's that, huh? Asshole.
Exactly.
I've had this tussle with a few professors before.
Me too. All right, you're up.
No, I did I not just? No, you read the Bojda one now.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Doing Bojda content when it was old, sometime after 6.2. Was in DRS. I ended up in an instance with 9 people, a pre-made group, and me. On the third boss, they wrote in chat asking me to turn off tank stands because I was pulling aggro. They asked multiple times, and I got frustrated that I was slow to respond. After a wipe, they immediately left the instance. I wanted to explain that it's really hard to type and do my rotation, especially because I was on PS4. I was playing Summoner, and their tank nav stance on.
Summoner, turn your tank stance off, god damn it. I mean, technically in Bojda, it is possible, I think, technically for YouTube. I mean, you would essentially, if you brought Provoke, but you'd be griefing deliberately. The twist is, I was on Summoner.
God, that was like M. Night Shyamalan type twist. Holy shit, yes.
Yeah, I just watched The Village again at this rate. Jesus Christ.
That is so good. That was so good. All right. I'm going to rinse out my glass. Happy, you read the next one, if you would, please.
Okay. Oh, this one says it's fresh off the presses, too. Just happened. Joined in Zodiac Farm. After a couple pulls, someone went AFK. Started chatting and won't repeat what was said, but I was told to shut up, followed by a racial slur by the tank. I was confused because, well, I'm a black IRLer in game. And if he mistook my purple pigment for black, I said, wait, you're purple? I laughed, but obviously still reported and blocked him as I don't tolerate that. So yeah, racism in the Duty Finder is a quick way to literally never play this game again. So that person hopefully was speed running a ban at that point. But why? I don't even understand. There was so much context missing from this one that it's crazy how quick it seems to have escalated. It was like, yeah, I was in a Zodiac farm, and then it became literally a massive sling of racial slurs after someone went AFK, and I'm just like, bro, I never see this shit ever in Party Finders, and it's crazy to me that anyone even acts this way. Sounds like PF speed. Yeah, that's true. That's pretty true.
Yeah, I don't either. This one, I feel like there's quite a bit missing from this one.
Yeah, this is like the shortest. This is like the speed run. This is speed running the experience as much as it's other person is speed running their ban. Because that's never gonna not get through to the next step on a report.
Yeah.
I don't do DJ hours. That is correct. I do not do DJ. Listen, I'll have you know I was up till midnight last night.
I'm trying to get this to happen. I'm trying to get Happy to do one night of Waffle House.
I'll have you know I stayed up until midnight last night.
Oh, you bad boy. Oh, my God.
Can I get that audio of Sly isolated, please, and sent to me? Just grab exactly Sly saying, you bad boy. Oh, my God. Please, for the love of God. Just please send it to me right now. All right. Well,
it was up past 12. Oh.
Listen, Daddy's got to sleep, okay? Need my beauty sleep. I don't know whose beauty I'm sleeping for, but like, because it certainly ain't mine.
There was one time where I duty roulette into Hawk Manor hard. There was a ninja, and he had his girlfriend as the white mage. Oh boy. Things were fine and dandy until we made it to the last boss, the Succubus. Succubus had ads where she heals and deals damage based on how healthy they are when she absorbs them. And since everyone's super outgeared, people skip the health gates on the boss, which leads us to getting one shot. I told the ninja to focus on the ads because we're doing too much damage to the boss. He gets very defensive and tells me I'm going to get reported. Leaves the instance. A few days later, a GM actually jailed me for harassment and bad behavior.
See, I always feel like I'm being told the paraphrased versions of stories like this.
Yeah. Because I feel like, GMs have, I feel like most GMs have common damn sense to see what happened. They can go back and read, chat just to see exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's something missing in this.
I feel like they told the ninja that. They just didn't tell. They told them a little more colorfully.
Yeah, probably.
Every time I hear a story that makes it seem like it's just so simple like this, I'm like, no, you're not. You're leaving something out. Like it's way.
At this point, we can't forgive you 100%. We can't admonish you. We don't have enough information. Sorry, you were still on hell on earth. Sorry.
Yeah, I would bet it was just profanity.
I mean,
aggressively used profanity. Like,
okay, there we go.
Hey, dumbass, get on the ads.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, even still, I've seen more colorful profanity used in that.
Yeah,
used against people, and not seen them jailed or reported. I mean, again, we're talking about actual reports. So they would have to be reported. So people would have to go through the painstaking task of reporting someone, which rarely gets done.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very rarely does anyone. They're like, fuck it. I don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, more than likely would probably blacklist before report and call it in.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Next one we have self-report. So this is truly asking for forgiveness if it's a self-report. I was on Ultima. Last boss of Orbone Monastery is Red Mage, and for some reason our alliance got decimated in 2 seconds except me and one other DPS, just as the boss goes untargetable for 10,000 years and there's a shit ton of stuff to dodge. So I raise one healer with Swiftcast and start to hardcast res while dodging stuff and get the party back up. As we're all going into the bubble, I'm like, wow, this was really hard when there's no enemy to proc dual cast on in chat. Someone replies, you can cast Vercure on yourself, right? I had forgotten. I never felt so stupid in my life. Sorry to all the strangers who saw me hard cast Veraze 5 times. Wait, 5? You would have still gotten a dual cast proc from one of them. Okay, well, maybe they rezzed more people. I've never felt so stupid in my life. Damn it.
Despair.
Yeah, that's
emotional damage.
Yeah, that's definitely despair right there. That's a moment.
Yeah.
That's a I'm leaving now moment.
Damned.
We're fucked. Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of emotions that go through the head of someone there. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people do that, but that one's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
There's no enemy to proc dual cast though. Listen, they didn't say they were a main red mage. Maybe they were just leveling. Maybe they were just like, I haven't played it in forever.
And again, it was a self-report, so you're partially forgiven.
Yeah,
partially forgiven. Three mentor roulettes.
3 mentor roulettes just for your pain, and all of them are ore bone, so you can make up for it. Next one's
back in the ARR days before Eggy Glamours existed.
You went up again. Go to the right.
Wait. Oh yeah, that's yours. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting. During mentor roulette.
That's still not the right one. I queued into an expert roulette as Bard is the one it should be.
Oh, I'm up too far. Okay.
Yeah.
I keep going up as you read yours. I queued into the expert roulette as Bard, joined a 3-man pre-made in Academia Anadir. Things are fine. And well, until we get to the second large pull with all the lizard dudes tethering to the crystals. They pull everything. And then we just barely die to the last 3 mobs. I got yelled at because I didn't LB the pack, and I told them I didn't think we needed it because we only had 3 mobs left. I got the R slur and vote dismissed. I had no idea you could even kick people from dungeons.
That is a case of a simple miscommunication. Because generally, when you want people to LB, you just type it in the middle of part. Because in dungeons, not everyone thinks to LB. Like I think of it like as a ranger or caster, but not everyone thinks that. So that could have been solved with a simple communication thrown in there. Just a quick 1-2 LB. Just type it. Just caster LB, range LB. Say something. But with only 3 mobs left, you shouldn't have needed it. But I'm assuming they meant to do it at the start when it was not just 3 mobs left, so you could kill them all faster. So, you know what? That's fine. I never expect LB in dungeons either. Also, how did they die at that late into the poll? That's the other thing.
I'm trying to remember where in Academia Anadir.
That's very far in for the section. The crystal section is like the last big pull. And it's also
crystal section with the tethers and everything, and then after that.
Yeah, that one in particular is a really, really bad big pull, or used to be a really, really bad big pull. Mine's a really short one. Back in the Realm Reborn days, before Eggy Glamours existed, I would queue into duties as an Arcanist for the single reason that Carbuncle was cute. Come on now. Why? I mean, I know why, but oh my god.
Haps, you read it. You deal out the punishment. I'll leave this one to you.
No, you're not forgiven for that. Carbuncle's not that cute. Carbuncle's not that cute. Come on now. Come on. That little fucker's not worth queuing in as Arcanist. No, that's it. I mean, hey, I'll give you points for honesty, but not forgiven. Not forgiven in the slightest. I'm assuming they mean high-level instances, by the way. If you're queuing in, okay, if you're queuing the like Sestasha, go, whatever. But not forgiven. Not forgiven.
Not forgiven. You know what? 3 mentors. 3 mentor roulettes.
3?
Yeah, we'll give you.
What kind of weak-ass punishment is that?
Where were you going to go?
I mean, at least 5. Like, I would consider...
Okay. I mean, I originally said 5. I brought it down to 3 because... You don't know the circumstances, which dungeons they were talking about. So,
yeah. It's just I like 5 as the number better. I like to operate in 5.
5 mentor roulettes. Not forgiven until then. During a mentor roulette, I got all newbies when doing a Great Cabal normal. During Biblia boss, the 2 DPS kept leaving their baited AoEs in the middle of the party and not joining us for circles, so we wiped a few times. But I explained the mechanics each time. One of them started reading and doing mechanics properly, but the other one was just not getting it. On the last run before our timer would run out, he ended up killing everyone but me, Scholar. I had to shield myself and tank until I got our tank back up and eventually the other DPS. I had to leave the non-learning DPS dead until I needed him to do the standing mechanic, and then I swift rezzed him, rescued him to the position, and then let him die again from upcoming damage by using specifically single target heals to heal everyone but him. It was the only way to not have him keep killing us, I felt really bad about having to leave a newbie dead on purpose, but it was needed.
Yeah. Sometimes, listen. It's the trolley problem.
It's the trolley problem.
It's the trolley problem.
It is the trolley problem. Yes. The greater good.
Yeah. That's you really have to. You really have to pick the greater good because I mean, here's the thing. There is the option of well, I guess it was on the last run. So that's the timer running out. Yeah, I mean that's it. That's the greater good. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
You listen, forgiven. You may have let the Sprout player be dead, but you again, it was for the greater good. So forgiven. Definitely forgiven. I think that's 4. I know I'll just control F the word mentor at the end, and that way we'll have a definitive answer. That's probably the best way to do it. All right. We only have a few left, by the way. Good, because we're coming up on end time. Was doing level 90 roulettes the other week as White Mage and ended up with a Dark who proceeded to not use any mitigation the entire time, including TP. There's a lot of Dark Knights not using mitigation stories in this. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Except for once popping their invuln as we were moving between mob pulls. So many deaths I remember them dying to the second boss, but I don't remember how because I didn't see a tank buster attack and I looked away for a second. They went from full health to dead. Sounds like a bot. It sounds like a bot to me.
I kind of want to know what dungeon.
It was level 90 roulette, so I mean, there's not very many.
So yeah, like
it's probably dead ends.
Dead ends,
honestly. Yeah.
I was gonna say dead ends. Yeah.
And apparently, in this case, way more apt of a name. Yeah, I would have to imagine that's dead ends. I'd be hard pressed to imagine it being literally anything else.
Yeah. But yeah, this dude, not forgiven.
Not forgiven.
Not forgiven. 10 mentor roulettes for you.
Well, you mean specifically 10. The Dark Knight?
Yeah, for the Dark Knight, yes.
Yeah, okay.
While leveling Summoner on an alt, was in Stone Vigil and had back-to-back runs where the healers decided to just not do anything. No healing, no DPSing. Barely followed along with the group and when at mob pulls, just stood there. Tank's health just kept getting lower and lower and still they did nothing. So I quickly opened up the action menu to add Physic to my hotbar so I could just spam heal the tank to keep them alive. After the second run, I received a tell from the healer telling me I shouldn't use Physic as a summoner. And at that point, I just logged out.
I mean, I'll give the healer this. They're correct. The summoner shouldn't be using Physic. But shouldn't and... it doesn't always have the same definition. Like, they're technically correct. It's, you shouldn't have to. But they did. I'd have logged out too. No, I'd have done the same thing. Although I probably would have at the very least considered the very, very interesting word choice I would have had for the person sending me this stuff. Be like, yeah, really weird. You know what you are supposed to do, though? You are supposed to heal the tank. Like, I'd risk, that's where you do the risky response, and you hope you don't get reported. Oh man, that's brutal. All right.
Yeah. Well, gates of heaven for you for your patience.
Yes, gates of heaven for sure. You may have logged out, but you did log into the gates of heaven. There you go.
Yes.
All right, and we have a couple left, and then I'm going to do one more thing after we do these next couple because I want to see something.
Okay.
Paradigm's Breach as a samurai. First boss was on normal, but getting... Yeah, I'm already upset reading Paradigm's Breach. First boss was as normal, but getting to the second bosses, our alliance tank DCs, and because of that, I become the top aggro and start tanking and die to the buster. The other alliance tank, a gunbreaker, did not have a stance on. This sounds like my Dunscaith problem. The other alliance... Okay, no. I called them out on it, and they didn't respond too nicely. Something like, why should I? I responded in chat. Oh wait, why should I? I responded in chat. Okay, that was all one thing. If you didn't want to tank, you shouldn't have queued as a gunbreaker. For the rest of the alliance raid, they targeted me, trying to clip me with tank busters and even throwing a marker over my head. After the raid is finished, they and a friend of theirs assumed I started typing. Started typing stuff like "LOL, Burger King crown mentors are bad." This is the first and only time I've seen mentor hate in game, and all I could respond with was, "I like my Burger King crown. You tried your best to kill me, but you didn't." I like the pettiness. Yeah.
Yeah. King of the castle, goddammit. You tried to usurp the king, but you couldn't do it.
And
Hell yeah.
The funny thing is, this mentor actually got the result they wanted. Because their problem was that the tank wasn't using stance when the other tank DC'd, and they got them to turn stance on. It worked.
I mean, in my eyes, that's a good mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got what they wanted, and they get to report someone for free. It's like a bonus, a little bonus on top.
Yep.
Yeah, so, boy, yeah. That's one.
Hail to the king, baby.
Yeah, hail to the
Holy
king.
shit.
Yeah. Sometimes pettiness goes a long way.
Last one was helping a buddy level his warrior as he wanted to tank. So I grabbed one of my alts that had a low-level healer to just keep pace with him. And know for certain what he was at. Can't remember what dungeon it was. One of the super low-level ones where I'm sure I still only had a cure 1. But I'm starting to slowly get him in the habit of pulling big, so I started pulling more to him. Got about halfway through when the mentor bard told me to stop pulling ahead of the tank. Told the mentor I knew what my tank could handle and what myself, the healer, could handle. They need to just keep DPSing. Got a mini speech about how I'm teaching bad habits and how I should let him pull when he was ready, and he should let me take the hits to teach me a lesson. From YPYT is wrong and slows everyone down.
Yeah, I like the pettiness of YPYT, but at the same time, dude, I just want to get through the dungeon. I don't care enough.
Yeah.
You just report the person afterwards, and if you all die, you all die. That's like, I know who that bard is. I know who this is. Yeah, of course it's the man. It's weird. It seems like they never communicated that the tank and that they actually knew each other and just like, I know what they can handle. So it's interesting, but teaching bad habits. Wait, teaching bad habits? You're not teaching the tank anything. The tank, you're pulling for the tank to try to push them to be a little better because they're your friend.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. That doesn't work out. That's not a good one. You're forgiven for pulling ahead. That's your confession of you pulling ahead. I forgive you because you were doing it with somebody that you knew, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Oh man. And that was the last confession that we had on the page. And oh boy, we had some that were.
We did get a few more, but yeah.
Yeah, we got a few more. I mean, we can quickly, I guess, peek through those. We don't have to take too long, technically, to do these last few ones. So I guess I'll take one of the other ones that we have here. Mm-hmm. In the very early days of 2.0, I was leveling Black Mage, my main at the time, and did Zamiel Darkhold. In those days, there were a few caster healer sets that dropped from there, some of which needed crafted and some of which didn't. I needed on gear for upgrades, and after the second boss, the healer starts screaming at me that I'm needing on healer gear. We finish the dungeon, the healer leaves, and I message the tank in the party chat like, what was her problem? The tank says, actually, she's my friend, and I agree with her. And I still get bad vibes whenever I do that dungeon nearly 10 years later. Yeah, that's... Oh my god. Yeah, the caster was needing on the healer gear. Yep. There you go.
Not forgiven.
Sly, you understand the problem with that statement, right? Caster needing on healer gear.
Early day, like we're talking about DD, right?
Talking about Zamiel Darkhold, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shared gear as the thing for that set.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
So there's nothing to forgive here because they were needing on the same fucking thing, so it's just bad luck.
Not forgiven.
There's nothing. It's not forgiven because there's nothing to forgive. You need to fuck. You don't let other people get shit unless they ask nicely. And if you don't need it, and you're just rolling on it for no reason. If you're a caster and you need an upgrade, then take it. Don't be like, oh, well, they're the healer. I guess they should get it instead. No, fuck that shit. It wasn't just healer gear. They shared gear. It was an upgrade for both of them.
The whole fuck that shit in your tone.
Yeah, fuck that shit. If you're rolling on gear that's an upgrade for you and somebody else complains, fuck that shit. They can go cry all they want.
Okay.
I need that shit too. It's not there just for you.
Was farming Barbariccia extreme, and my co-tank, who was elected to be the off-tank, decided to do G1 positions and wipe the group a few times for other weird things, taking the melee spread positions and such. After we wiped, I asked if I could do G1 since I was main tank. I got a response in the chat, and they continued to stand on the G1 side. After a minute, the PL said if people can't agree, then I'm out, and left and disbanded the party. I went to BL and found I couldn't since I already had the other tank BL. Felt only a little bad for the others in party since they were probably talking in chat, and I'll never know what they said.
I could have swore you couldn't join a party where you have one of the members. Maybe it's only the party leader being blacklisted. I thought if somebody was blacklisted when you tried to join a party finder, or they couldn't join yours. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I guess it's only the party leader. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. That explains why there was a lack of communication. Okay, well, that's unfortunate, but you're forgiven for that. If the co-tank was already blacklisted, that means they had done something wrong before. So, you know what? That's the game's problem. That's not your problem. I say you're forgiven.
Yeah, agreed.
Don't say E. You got to stop saying that, Sly. It's like the one phrase you shouldn't say.
It's the only music that goes well with this.
There's no forgiving with the E. There's no forgiving at all. Stop it. Let's see. When I do Barse runs in P8S P1, if someone other than me messes up a mechanic that would cause us to miss the DPS target time, because my class is so dependent on kill time, I suddenly have terrible aim with Snake 2. That's dirty. I will say this, though. If you're doing Barse runs, it's pretty normal for you to wipe if something goes wrong or if you miss a target time. So that's actually kind of like it's an unwritten and I think in some ways written rule. That's not something you would do in like a prog party. But in Barse, yeah, actually I'm not that surprised by it. But it's funny because the party doesn't seem to be aware. I suddenly have terrible aim with Snake 2. No crime to confess. Very little crime to confess because there is a negative connotation there. They considered a confession enough to write it, but they also put a smiley face at the end.
I feel like this is one of those victimless crimes. Yeah. I once had someone tell me in PF chat while waiting for it to fill that they had left their FC. They made with their boyfriend because he was cheating on her while she was queuing to get him a Hosh front necklace at FanFest.
Oh, that's somebody else's confession, but thanks for sharing it. Jesus, how did that discussion even begin in the PF? How did they get to that point? Slice.
I don't even know where to go with this one. Holy shit.
That's just real.
Man, And this is one of the newer ones. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was an hour ago. Mm-hmm. That's a fun one. Yeah, that literally is just a response. What else do you say? Yeah. The good news is, while she was getting the necklace, someone else was getting impaled. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat, for that one.
You were sentenced to counseling.
Yeah.
Just counseling. You were just sentenced to counseling.
Someone was getting Hoshfont's necklace. Someone else was getting Sir Zephyrn's spear.
My God.
God damn.
My God.
All right.
Last one happened.
Yeah. I wouldn't make that joke if the confessor was the person who wrote that, but they were confessing somebody else. They were confessing on somebody else's behalf. Oh, man. Anyway, the last one's a long one. I subbed in for a group progging Abyssos. It was Reclears and prog on P8. This group had a world prog person who inted their brains out for 2 hours straight in P5S doing Devour Wrong after we deadlift carried them. I like the adjectives being added onto this. Inted their brains out and deadlift carried them. Through P5 and P6 is already towards the end of the raid time. The entire 2 hours we were treated to their soliloquy about how this tier was hard in week 1. And they were perhaps trying to show off to their raid lead. I didn't care about it. It's just either reclears with them or PF reclears for me on this alt. So the time investment was quite similar. I usually upload all my combat logs, whether I get gray or pink for self-review. What shocked me was when I got a DM asking to private these logs because the World Progger got a very low gray and would look bad on their page and wanted to join more World Prog HC groups. Turns out they didn't beat the tier week 1, but I did. This is the day I realized that some World Proggers just get carried by their teams. If you imagine asking someone to private one log. Like, if one log make or breaks you, then it's not good. That's very, very not good.
I mean, I had some logs that were shit just because of shit that happened, like, at the blunt end of the fight, and like, yo, don't upload that. But they still upload it. Like, at this point, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm aware that things happen in raids. I'm aware. And like, I like, if people don't have the foresight to see that, like, things do happen, and you know, sometimes it's just out of your hands. Sure, but yeah,
you gotta live with it.
This is different.
You gotta live with it.
This is different. You gotta live with it. Yeah,
that's all there is to it. Yeah, it's sometimes it can be disaster. One shouldn't be the one that makes or breaks. I just wouldn't respond to that if somebody asked me that. I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm not privating that. All right, and I think that was our. Now I'm gonna say I'm not even gonna refresh the page. I'm gonna say that was our final confession because we are past time at this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, this is a good episode.
Yeah, some good laughs. We should do this more often. Yeah, good stories.
We have some good experiences. Yeah.
If there's anything I've learned from the idea of making that YouTube video, it's specifically that everyone loves talking about bad duty finders.
Yes. So chat, I posed to you, did you enjoy the confessions of your fellow peers? And would you like to see this more often in certain other aspects of the game?
And I also posed to you the result of our poll. There were a total of 5 posts about mentors.
5.
And you want to know what's hilarious about that? Absolutely 0 people predicted that. So y'all lose your points.
Damn.
Everybody just loses points.
Everybody thought this would be a more mentor heavy show, and we did ask for it, but no.
Oh, actually, one person did, but it said it was 0% because so many other people went against it. So one person got all the points.
Well, goddamn.
That one person who predicted 0 to 5 did indeed get 381,000 points. There they are with the shades. Oh, man. Yeah. It was close. See, the problem is there were 8 results for the word mentor, but 3 of them were the initial question and 2 posts where they used the word mentor twice. So it ends up being 5. Yeah, that is a good Gamba payout. And I can let you know there's absolutely nothing to do with them. But, at least you won. Yay!
Yay!
All right. Yeah, that was a fun time. There's a lot of my favorite part about this is there's so many tangential stories that we can reference back to of things that have happened similarly to this. So it was a fun time. We have that as an occasional fill idea for something every once in a while. Oh, yeah. Yep. So that's
so chat for our next aka mailbag episode, aka confessions. Let us know what you'd like to see, whether it be from like another aspect. I don't even want to say. Okay, we're just gonna leave. We're just gonna leave. ERP out of this.
Please. Why did you even bring it up? No one was thinking it except you, Sly.
We're just gonna leave ERP out of this.
Nobody was thinking it except. What does that? No, we literally had 0 crossovers with this. You're filthy.
I mean, there's RP.
You didn't need to say this though.
Am I the mentor? Episode? Yes.
A mentor ERP story. That's a different kind of mentor. Anyway. And
am I the asshole episode? Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, am I the asshole is pretty good. Ida, yeah. That's I like that one. That's good. Yeah. Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll do an Ida episode. Am I the asshole here? Yeah. And we will judge you, yes or no.
Yes.
Am I the mentor instead?
Oh boy.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's so good. Again, huge shout out to Logix for helping me with the website and getting all the submissions, everything. Thank you so much, Logix, for setting this up. Shout out to him. I'll probably get him. If we want to get started on the Am I the Asshole, I'll probably get him to clear all this shit out, and we'll probably get that started soon.
Well, we won't be able to do that show for quite some time, so bear that.
Oh no, that's fine. As long as we have the responses,
yeah, but I think we want the responses to be closer to the actual show and not like months old by the time we get to it. I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because so to keep everyone up to date, next Friday is the Letter from the Producer Live. We will do our show covering that. The following week would be preliminary patch notes, assuming the schedule for the patch is as we predict. After that would be patch first impressions. After that would probably be, if we have a show at all that Friday, something on Savage. We would have to do a spoiler cast of some kind somewhere along that. And then we get close to 16 and things start to get a little bit hectic schedule-wise. So, yeah. But at some point, am I the mentor? Am I the mentor here? That's a wonderful, wonderful idea. Oh man! Oh, and somebody asked what our favorite ones were. Mine's definitely the sitting in the dungeon for 30 minutes. Petty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one. That was just the peak pettiness. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I can't imagine picking a different one. It's such a beautiful. There are some other really good confessions here, but that's the peak. That's the peak for me. I love peak petty. It's just so good. Oh man. All right. Well, with that, Sly, I think we're good to wrap up this fun little. I guess I call it a community show.
Yeah. Like they were submitted by the community, so yes.
Yeah, that's true. They were. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to this week's episode of State of the Realm. Quick shout out to the sponsors again. Steel Series doing the moments thing. You type ! moments. You can check out the Steel Series GG program, which lets you have access to their Sonar and Moments apps. Sonar used to fine-tune your audio. Moments meant to capture second-to-second gameplay for clips for you to post online. Every single download supports. So consider doing that. Also, shout out to our sponsors over on Patreon for supporting. Nobody has to use Patreon. Nobody's required. There's nothing exclusive for being over there, but we appreciate the people that do. So thank you to them. And with that, we're going to sign off. Sly, what you got going on this weekend, my friend?
Well, again, thank y'all so much for submitting. Really appreciate it. On such short notice, too. Try to get it done sooner, but, you know, things. But yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox. You can find me on Twitter at Sly the Fox. A few things this weekend. I will be on Aetherite Radio tomorrow to talk about the state of the game.
Don't say it. It's Final Fantasy 16 already stole it from us.
I know. To talk about the state of the game and what we feel. So I'll be on Aetherite Radio tomorrow. Also, first Saturday, tomorrow night. Just your regular first Saturday, just we've done some different things. We've gone to the future. We've gone to like South Korea, and we're back in the 70s and 80s of Japan. So yeah, we're back in that. Something ongoing, the road to 3K, aka, and on that road to 3K, aka the Fantasia race that will be ending at 2K subs. So yeah, Sly's gonna be Fantasia when he reaches 2K subs. And so every gifted sub, every 100 bits, every tip, every dollar tip is a vote. So right now, Al Ra is in the lead because of some people who really want to see me be an Al Ra. Lalafellow's second. So you can shift the votes whatever way you deem fit. I have no dog in the fight. I can't do anything about it. Whatever happens once we reach 2K, that is it. So you get to choose what I will be Fantasiaing to. At 1K, you get to choose my glam too, by the way. So but yeah, that's what's going on with me. Happy, what's going on with you?
Hi, I'm Mr. Happy. You can find me on Mr. Happy 127 everywhere. I'm working through Count Up at the moment, Final Fantasy 13. I'm getting pretty far through. I have just a bunch of sponsored stuff this month. Still getting settled into the new place a little bit. It's, for the most part, as you can see, presentable, but there's some cleaning I still want to do to open up some more space and just get rid of some old junk. But cooking streams probably returning sometime in the near future, and some more stuff on YouTube and whatnot. A brand new series on YouTube that kind of reflects what happened here. We'll probably be doing it twice a month, and that is the worst duties and the duty finder. I already mentioned to Sly earlier that one of my specials is going to be doing the same duties across all 4 data centers and seeing which one is the winner? Loser? I have
however you want to frame it.
I have a prediction about that video, but we'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
On top of all the usual stuff, and we've got a ton of news coming in the next several, between 14 and 16 related stuff. 16 is only a month and a half away at this point, so yeah, it's we're going to be super busy on everything. So
yep,
I'm just glad to be a part of it at this point. I'm glad I'm here. So with that, we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna go get some food cooked up because I am hungry. And I will see you all tomorrow, and Sly will see you all later tonight, and y'all are gonna have a good one. Sounds good? Okay. Well, now we're gonna go to our very short post show now, and I will see you all later. Until then, bye-bye.
See you soon.